babe, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. I'm Shayla. Happy Vlogmas Day 11. I thought since Vlogmas Day 11 falls on a Sunday, why not make today's video a cozy little Sunday Q&A? I put up a question box on my Instagram. I have all your questions here. Figured we could grab a beverage, sit, and have a little chat. Also, I'm not gonna lie, I'm in desperate need of a day to catch up on all of my admin and work outside of Vlogmas. So doing a little sit down video like this will be really helpful. I just did a skincare routine a couple days ago and now we're doing a Q&A, and I hope that you're okay with this. I'll be vlogging a lot the rest of Vlogmas, and I feel like I've already vlogged a lot leading up until this video. So this video will give me a little bit of extra time to catch up on editing and all of the work that I need to get done. First things first, before we get into the questions, let's open up our tea advent calendar, and I hope that you will grab a beverage right now too, so we can have like a little cozy chat. Maybe grab a little kombucha, a little tea, a little coffee, glass of wine. I don't know what your vibe is right now, but grab something, or grab multiple drinks if you want to channel me. You know I love my beverages. And then I'll get into all your questions. Day 11. Oh my gosh, it matches my sweater. I love that. Here is our tea for today. Ooh, it's like a fruity tea, grapefruit and lemon peel. And it is decaf, which I deeply appreciate because, you know, I've already had coffee today, so I don't know how much more caffeine I actually need. I'm gonna put the water on and then we'll open up the doggies too while we're at it. Why not? Day 11. Good girl, sit. And one for Penny. This was honestly so fun. I'm so glad I got advent calendars for the dogs. It's just like so freaking cute. And they look forward to it every day. Here you go, Penny. Oh my gosh, it's pink. This couldn't have been more perfect. Okay, first sip. I want you to comment down below what you're drinking with me. So good. I love it. Ugh, I'm so happy right now. I love a good drink. I really do. Okay, pull up the questions on my Instagram. Wow, so many questions. Ay, ay, ay. First question is, what is a good way to meet new friends when you work remotely? I work from home, as you know, and I'm a team of one. So I work solo, and I also live alone. And I also moved to New York City knowing one or two people like 7 months ago. And I'm still creating and building new friendships. So I completely relate to anyone who's in the position currently of working to foster new friendships and build new friendships with people. It's definitely challenging as an adult, and it's extra challenging when you work from home or you work by yourself. So I really feel for you if you're feeling that. For myself personally, how I've been making friends is going to workout classes or getting involved in different extracurricular activities, if you will. Like I took a pottery class or going to events. And I know that I am an influencer, and so I get invited to influencer events, but there's also lots of different community events all over the world. One of the guests on my podcast, Melanie, not too long ago, was telling me about how she had recently relocated to Denver and she didn't know anyone, and she created a meetup group. She was talking about how there's lots of different meetup groups with certain focused interests where you can meet new people. So my advice to you would be to go online and see if there's any meetup groups in your area. See if there are any classes in your area that you can take. Join a gym. Compliment someone on their leggings. Like maybe talk to someone in the halls of your apartment building or in your neighborhood. Like I've been making friends in my building just simply by striking up a conversation in the elevator. I know it can feel a little awkward, but 9 times out of 10, other people are wanting connection too. And if you know you're a good person and you know you're a good friend and you're looking to make good friends, and again, I feel like 9 people out of 10 will be really receptive to that and open to making a new friend, because who doesn't want new friends? I also think it's great to reach out to anyone that you're currently friends with and just be like, hey, I am looking to make new friends and expand my friendship circle. If you know of anyone that you think I would click with, I'd love if you could link me up with them and connect us, you know? And I think the biggest part of making new friends is a willingness to put yourself out there and kind of let go of that fear of possible rejection and just put yourself out there. Second question is, are you ever planning to be a yoga instructor again? I'm still a yoga instructor, guys. Just because I'm not teaching weekly regular group classes doesn't mean I am not still a yoga teacher. I don't see myself teaching 5 or 6 regular classes every single day, 5 days a week like I was before, because that for me was exhausting, and I feel like working in that way didn't allow me to reach my fullest potential. If you're watching this on the 11th, you can join me for a virtual flow on December 16th I'm doing with Alo Yoga. So it's like now I feel so much more excited when I'm teaching classes and I teach special events, and like I'm partnering with Alo Yoga on this virtual flow. And that for me just allows me to really give all of my energy, because that's what I was doing previously when I was teaching multiple classes a day, but it was draining because I wasn't giving myself any time and space to fill up my cup in other ways and express myself in the other ways that really bring me joy. So I would consider myself still a yoga teacher. And I feel like I teach in maybe not the most traditional sense, like regular group classes, but I teach yoga through my podcast, and I teach yoga through my Instagram, occasionally on my YouTube channel, and in my program, the Yoga Inspired Life program. I'm still teaching yoga. It might just not look like the way you typically see it. What is your favorite thing about living in New York? There are honestly so many things I love about living in New York, but I was thinking about it the other day. I was on the subway. It was a packed subway. I had just run to catch the train and was trying to get somewhere on time, and I was standing there thinking about how much I love the challenge that living in a big city like New York poses. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but day-to-day life in New York is challenging. It's not easy. You're moving, you're grooving, you're trying to coordinate your schedule, you're hopping on the train, you're running to get the next train, you gotta carry your groceries blocks and blocks and blocks, and you got cold wind hitting your face, and you're trying to navigate through crowds of people, and there's something about that extra added layer of challenge that keeps me really present, and I find it to be fun. Is that weird? I don't know. I know that sounds weird, and I know that oftentimes we as human beings are always seeking comfort, you know, and the easy way out or the path of least resistance. And that was very much my life in LA. You know, everything felt very autopilot and easy and comfortable, but that level of comfort wasn't serving me. And that way of life allowed me to just live on autopilot, and I felt like I was never really present. I don't know, something about New York just really anchors me into the present moment, and I love that. There's also just like this magical energy here that is unparalleled. I am obsessed with living in New York. What are your top 5 cozy Christmas movies? Well, my favorite Christmas movie is The Holiday, and I watch it about 1 million times during the month of December. It's like my all-time favorite Christmas movie. I also love The Grinch. That is one of my favorite Christmas movies. I'm obsessed with The Grinch, and I'm obsessed with Jim Carrey. He's chef's kiss, like obsessed. Christmas Vacation is also another one I grew up watching, and it's like just a classic. And then I know this might kind of be cringy, but I feel like we've reached this level of honesty so that I can just really be myself right now. And I'm gonna tell you, I love a Hallmark movie. I love any Hallmark movie. I love all the Hallmark movies. Hallmark Channel is a vibe, okay? It is a vibe during the month of December. I know it's a little cheesy. I know the acting is in a category of its own. I know the storylines are a little far-fetched, but you know what? I don't care. I love it. Give it to me. It brings me so much joy. Favorite snacks? This is a good question. Favorite snacks as of late have been popcorn, the Skinny Pop popcorn. It's like the vegan butter Skinny Pop popcorn. Love that. I also love a rice cracker mix. I've been loving mini cucumbers cut in half with tahini on top. I love a Honeycrisp apple as a snack. I've been loving the Misfit plant protein bars. Those are really good, although I look at that more of like a dessert snack than like a middle of the day snack. I don't really like love sweets too much, but as I get older I notice I crave sweets in the evening, like after dinner. But yeah, I feel like those are my favorite snacks. I do love like pretzels and hummus. Pretty much anything salty, savory, and crunchy. These questions are just all over the map, aren't they? What is your favorite color? You must be new here. My favorite color is pink. If you've been following my channel for a while, then you know my last apartment was literally all pink. Any pink tone, pink, peach. I even like some oranges. That is like my favorite color. It just brings me so much joy. I actually used to have pink hair. That's why the branding of my blog and everything is like pink, peachy tones. That's why around my apartment, you'll see little pops of pink. That is my absolute favorite color. How do you push through work when you don't feel motivated? Here's the thing with motivation is you're not always gonna feel motivated. I think it's normal to have dips in your motivation. And honestly, I think in those moments when I'm not feeling motivated, I try to reassess what it is I need to do and pick the things that are of the utmost importance. So if there's extra things that are not that important that I don't need to do today, see if I can push them off to another day and just do what I have to do right now and try to minimize my tasks if possible. I know that's not feasible for everyone. That is just what I do. I also love to take a pause and like hit the reset button. And I do that by going for a walk. Like if I'm really struggling and I really feel like I'm grinding my gears, working on whatever it is I'm working on, I'm like, okay, let's take a pause. Let's go for a walk. Let's get some fresh air. Let me move my body. Let me just reset, you know, or even taking a shower. Sometimes if you work from home, I know if you're at the office, you can't really like just take a shower in the middle of your day, but taking a shower for some reason just makes me feel like I'm like washing away the anxiety or the stress or the unmotivated energy and I'm just starting fresh. But you know, going back to the first point that I made, I think that in those moments when I'm really struggling and I'm really feeling unmotivated, I just try to do what I can and let that be enough. You know, and I know that my energy levels and my productivity and my motivation is going to ebb and flow. We're not machines and we're not going to be operating at 100% all day, every day. It's just not feasible. It's not the way that it works. I think that we've been conditioned to expect that and think that, but it's not possible. That's not normal and that's not sustainable. You're going to have moments in days and weeks, months, maybe even years where you do a little less and that's okay. I think it's a mindset of coming to terms with, I'm not gonna get 100 things done today or whatever the amount is, you know, and that's okay, that's enough. I'm just gonna do what I absolutely have to do right now and I'm gonna try again tomorrow, or I'm gonna take a shower or take a walk and try to hit the reset button and see if I can feel better moving forward. You know, motivation is equal parts momentum, habit, and discipline. I think for myself personally, I get motivated through having momentum and I don't always feel motivated to get up and get going. And in those moments, I have to think about how good I'm gonna feel after I complete a task or after I work out or after I do whatever I'm gonna do that I feel unmotivated to do. And I also have to remind myself that sometimes I just have to kind of shut the complaining part of my brain off and just get going, because once I get going, then I gain momentum and then I start feeling motivated again. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope that made sense. And I really hope you found that helpful. I don't know if that was helpful or not. What are your favorite sweat sets? I actually love Cotton On. Cotton On has really affordable sweat sets. They don't last extremely long, which, you know, going along with that saying of like, you get what you pay for. You know, you're not gonna get a sweat set that lasts you years because they're like 30 bucks each piece. But I do love them. I think they're super comfortable. They're super affordable. I also really like the Mayfair company. They make really cute sweatsuits. Like I have that pink sweatshirt that says your emotions are valid, and I have like little sweat shorts with that. I've also been getting sweat sets from Zara actually, and I really like them. I'm always on the hunt for new sweats though, because I love a matching sweatsuit, and especially winter in New York City, this is becoming a staple piece of my wardrobe. The significance of the 3-dot tattoo on your hand. If you've never seen this, this is what that person is asking about. It's 3 little dots here on the edge of my right hand. And to be honest, the story behind this tattoo is layered. There's a few layers to this tattoo. A couple of which I don't really want to get into for personal reasons, but I will say the overall theme of this tattoo is that it means I love you. And growing up and still to this day, my mom, when we hold hands, she would squeeze my hand 3 times to say I love you. And so the 3 dots are to represent I love you, 3 pulses. It's actually probably my favorite tattoo just because it's so dainty and small and it has a few different meanings. I really love it actually, even though there's also just another very strange meaning to it. But again, we're not getting into that. We're not putting that out there today. I don't feel like getting into it. Can of worms that I want to keep closed. What do you use as makeup remover? Well, I was using these reusable makeup rounds and I've been using those for years, and you just put water on them and it like wipes off all your makeup. But as of late, when my skin was breaking out, I realized that maybe that wasn't removing all of my makeup properly. So I started using the Elemis cleansing balm, which I shared in a couple of vlogs ago. And I've really been loving that. So I use that to remove all my makeup, and then I double cleanse, which I spoke about in my skincare routine video. Have you ever been to Canada? No, I haven't been to Canada. I'd love to go to Canada though. I'm not too far. Maybe I'll make a trip. Lots and lots of questions about dating, my dating life, dating in New York City, all sorts of things. So I'll just start off by saying I am currently not dating anyone. I am single as a Pringle. It's not a bad thing, honestly. I've gone on a couple of dates here and there, but after I stopped dating the last person that I was dating, I wanted to take a little bit of a break. I felt like I needed to recenter myself and reassess what I really want and what's important to me, and just kind of get my bearings again before I get back out into the dating world. I think in the last 3 months I've been on 2 dates. You know, in the same vein, a lot of people asked for dating tips and tips for first dates and first date green flags, and gosh, this could be a whole video in itself, I feel like. And to be honest with you, I'm still navigating the dating process, so I'm not an expert. But from my dating experience in New York City so far, I would say that first and foremost, when it comes to dating and dating successfully, or, you know, dating in a way that feels good versus leaves you feeling like shit, I think the best thing that you can do is really focus on your mindset and look at dating as an opportunity for you to meet new people and drop the expectations. I'm not saying don't have any standards. You definitely want standards, and you're going and meeting this other person to see if they have similar standards and if they have the qualities and things that you desire in a partner and what you deserve in a partner. But dropping the expectations, especially around the first few dates, allows you to relieve some of the pressure that can come with first dates, you know? And that made me way less nervous to go on first dates. It also eliminated that possible disappointment at the end of a date if it wasn't a match, you know, because I wasn't going into it like, this could be my person. It was like, I'm just going to meet this person and I'm gonna have a conversation with them, and I'm just gonna enjoy the moment, enjoy it for what it is, and enjoy my time. And if it's a match, then great, maybe we'll go out again. And if it's not, that was a cool experience, and I learned about someone new, and I did something new, and I got out of my comfort zone, etc., etc. So that mindset shift, I think, has been the most helpful for me, because when you are dating for marriage and or a long-term partnership, it can be disappointing if you've gone on, you know, a handful of dates and you're like, oh, none of these guys or women are my person, you know, it can be really disappointing. So I think to avoid that disappointment, looking at dating in a way of just meeting someone new and making a new friend first and foremost has been really helpful. In regards to first date tips, you know what's funny is that my first date tips are very different now versus what they would have been in the beginning of my dating journey when I first moved to New York City. And I think, you know, my dating tips and rules, if you will, have definitely changed because of my experiences through dating. And I say that because, you know, with time and more dates, I don't know, maybe these dating tips will change. So just take all of this with a grain of salt. But I did not prepare for this. I'm just kind of like going off the top of my head, and these are not in order of importance, but I'm thinking back on quite a few dates, was really vibing with my date. This has happened like on multiple occasions, and you want to keep the date going, right? You go to one place and then you're like, well, let's keep it going. You go to another place and you're like, well, let's keep it going. And you want to go to another place and you're like, oh, this is so fun. I don't want this to end. And I think that at least in the first few dates, keep it short, leave early. You know how when Friends, the TV show, ended and everyone was sad and they were like, we want more. It's, you know, they exited before it ran its course, you know? And I'm thinking that that is a really good thing to incorporate when dating. Like, leave before the party's over. I'm not saying like leave in the middle of the date, but like let the date be, you know, an hour or two, 3 tops, and then end the night. Even if you're having fun and it's like on a high note, I think that it's good to leave the other person wanting more. It's good for you to leave and assess how you're feeling. I think it's just better that way. At least that's something that I'm gonna be doing. Even if I'm having fun, even if I wanna keep hanging out, even if I wanna keep the night going, I am going to set a boundary and just like let it be on the shorter side. Tip number 2 is to not take anything personally. Everybody is on their own trip. Just because somebody doesn't wanna take you on a second date, or someone doesn't call you after a date, or they don't wanna pursue a serious relationship with you, or they ghost you, or whatever it is, like it has nothing to do with you. You can't take anything personally when you're dating. Everybody is dealing with their own shit. They have their own traumas and struggles and things they're bringing to the table. And unless you've done something like absolutely bonkers on the date, you have to know that it's not you, it's them. And you just can't take it personally. And you have to also remember that the longer you entertain what is not meant for you, the longer you postpone what is. So trust that if somebody is not vibing you, or they're not calling you, or they're not putting in the effort, it's not meant for you. And you have to let go with ease and trust that the right person is right around the corner. I think that's a hard one. I think it's easy to take things personally in dating, but you just can't, you know? And when I catch myself in moments taking things personally, I think back to many different men that I have met or known that have been attractive and great and smart and great on paper, but there just wasn't any spark there. And it doesn't mean that they weren't incredibly attractive, eligible suitors, you know, they just weren't for me. So I try to keep that in mind and remember that nothing is personal. On the dating train, the other questions I got were like about whether you should do dinner or drinks on the first date. You know, I've done both and I've enjoyed doing both. I don't think it matters. I think sometimes doing drinks or coffee or a shorter date can be good just in case you're not vibing them. But again, like because I'm approaching dating as I'm just meeting new people, and I don't know if this is a personality thing or what, but you could literally throw me in a room with anyone and I could have a decent conversation with them and like make the most out of my time. So I don't mind going on a longer dinner date with someone, even if I'm like not vibing them in that way, because I'm going to connect with someone and just learn something new about someone, and maybe even learn something new about myself in the process, you know? So I think whether you do dinner or drinks on a first date, I think it's just like honestly a personal preference. I don't think that there's like a rule, at least I don't think. Lots of questions about dating in New York in general, and what I will say is that the quality of men that I have dated while in New York have been eons better, like far better than any man I ever dated in LA. I'm just saying, the quality of men have been better, the dates have been better, the conversations have been better. It's just better here, in my opinion. I know that not everyone will agree with me on that, but like I feel like I've met much better guys here since dating in New York, and I'm still hopeful and excited and feeling good about dating, even though I'm still single. You know, I still feel like my person is out there, and I'm excited to keep dating and meeting new people. As I said, I feel like we could go on and on and on and on and on about dating. Maybe I will if you'd be into that, but I do want to just like rapid fire think of a few first date green flags, because a couple of people asked that question and I love that question. For me, right, because this is totally subjective, first date green flags would be somebody that plans the date, like has a well thought out date, has planned it, is on time or relatively on time, has communicated and confirmed the date prior to the date. Someone that makes me feel calm is a green flag. I think a little bit of nerves is normal right when you first get there, but I've definitely had a few first dates where I'm like, wow, this person makes me feel really calm and comfortable, and that to me is a green flag. Whereas before I might have thought like, oh, I feel really nervous, that must mean that I'm excited and these butterflies. I'm like, sure, maybe there's a little bit of that, but I think that, again, for myself, a green flag is somebody that has like really calm, grounded energy. That to me represents stability and consistency, and that is a major green flag for me. Also, somebody that equally asks questions and also is open and willing to share about themselves. You know, I like a good give and take of sharing and listening. I've definitely been on some first dates where they're just like blah, 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 like nervous chatting. It's like they're like on the brink of pulling out a PowerPoint about themselves to continue to show off, and I'm like, oh, this is such a turn off. Another green flag is somebody that is polite and has manners. Are you opening the door for me? Are you offering to walk me home if it's really dark, or, you know, walk me to somewhere that's safe? Like, also somebody that follows up after the first date. I love that. I love somebody that messages and is like, hey, I had a great time with you this evening. I hope you got home safe. You know, that to me is a green flag. I know you don't always care deeply about somebody that you've just gone on a first date with because you don't know them too much, but I think having that element of caring and that protective energy to me is a green flag, because I want that in a partner. Not being on their phone at the table is another green flag. Oh my gosh, being kind to the servers and our wait staff. This is a big one. There's probably more, but that's all I can think of right now. Okay, last couple of questions. Do you think you will stay in New York, or are you going to go back to LA? As it stands right now, I have absolutely no plans to go back to LA. I love New York. I love living in New York. I can't believe I've already been here for 7 months, but I really truly feel like I just got here and I'm not ready to go. And I don't think that when my lease is up that I will be ready to go. I'm really, really happy here. I love my life here. I feel like only just in the last couple of weeks that I have really started to find my flow here, and I'm still figuring it out. But yeah, I'm just starting to kind of feel like this is home, making friends, I'm finding my groove, and I have no plans to leave. Are you vegan? I used to call myself vegan, but I no longer subscribe to any labels. I still eat a plant-based diet, and I have eaten a plant-based diet 100% of the time for the last almost 7 years. And I think somewhere along the line, I started to feel like the pressure of that label felt not good anymore. And I also think that for whatever reason, when you are plant-based / you talk about being plant-based, then it somehow gives people on the internet free reign to discuss your diet and talk about what you eat and pass judgments on what you eat. And I don't like that. I don't think that's appropriate. I don't think what I eat is anybody's business, which is why I don't really talk about what I eat anymore. That's why I don't do what I eat in a day videos. That's why I don't call myself vegan or plant-based, even though I do only eat 100% plant-based currently as it stands. But I might change my mind one day, and I want the freedom to be able to eat what my body is craving. And I don't think that my diet should be up for discussion amongst anyone but myself and perhaps a medical professional that I'm working with, you know? So I guess I would have to say that no, I'm not vegan, because I don't want that label, that pressure, that judgment, that scrutiny, or to open up that conversation about what I eat, because I think it's weird. I don't know. I only recently started to recognize that I'm like, how come I say I'm plant-based and now everybody has something to say about what I'm eating, but then I see other people on the internet eating anything and everything and nobody says anything about what they're eating. Nobody should be saying anything about what anyone's eating. It's weird. I don't like that, and no, I'm not subscribing to that anymore. Would you move to a different city? Sure, I'd be open to moving to a different city, but right now I love the city that I'm in, and I see myself being here for the foreseeable future. I'd be open to moving to another city, but I'm really happy to be here. What steps did you take to decide to move to New York City? I actually have a whole series on my channel where I shared the entire process of apartment hunting. I even vlogged my first trip to New York, and you see literally the wheels turning in my mind as I'm discussing, like, maybe I should move to New York. And I shared the process of planning my move to New York. So you can find all those videos in the playlist New York City, and you can literally scroll all the way to the first video and watch my entire New York City journey unfold. It's actually pretty cool. I did not intend to move here when I first came to New York, so it's cool that I got it all on the vlog. You know, the whole process. Do you want any more tattoos? No, I don't really have any desire to get any more tattoos. Honestly, I love all the tattoos that I have, but some of them I think could be done a little bit better. I don't love the way that they've all been done. I love all of them, like the meaning and or what it is, but I would love them to be redone with a single needle, and I would not be opposed to getting some of them removed and possibly redone. But yeah, I love tattoos, I just haven't really felt inspired to get any more. What software do you use to edit your videos? Guess what, guys? Nothing fancy. I have Final Cut Pro. I bought it, and guess what I use? I use iMovie. I use the free editing app on my MacBook. I love iMovie. I think it's really easy. There was another question about tips for editing videos and stuff and how to learn. I think the best way to learn anything is by doing. I knew absolutely nothing when I first started YouTube. I didn't have anyone to teach me. I didn't go to school. I didn't take a course. I had no idea what I was doing. I learned through trial and error, and I think that that's the best way to learn anything, is just to get your hands dirty and get in there and figure it out by doing and making mistakes. There might be an easier way to edit than the way that I edit, but because I am self-taught and I figured it out, I figured out a way that works for me. So my best advice to you is to get on YouTube and look up videos on how to edit. And I know that there's like, what's that platform that they have classes on? What is that called? Oh, Skillshare. I've heard about Skillshare. They have classes. There's so many resources online and so many free resources online. You can pretty much learn anything via the internet. Let's see if there's any more questions. Would you do a meetup in New York City? Absolutely. I don't know when I would do that, but that's definitely something that I would love to do at some point. So be on the lookout for that. Are you coming up with any more yoga flows anytime soon? Yes, definitely. That is on my to-do list. I feel like every time I get ready to go ahead and plan that out and get that done, something comes up. But in the new year, I am planning on filming some new yoga flows for you guys for my YouTube channel. And I've even thought about possibly creating some sort of subscription platform. And yeah, I have lots of ideas that I hope to execute in 2023 for you guys. Okay, I feel like this video is getting so long. The point was supposed to be to give myself a break and make a shorter video, and here we are. I just love you. I just can't. Last question is, do you have any projects in the works? Well, definitely on my mind has been creating some new yoga flows for you guys. Another thing that I've been working on for a really long time is a guided journal / planner. I am still in the stages of developing it, but I'm hoping to get that finished and get a sample and get it going sometime in the beginning of 2023. That's been a goal of mine. I love planners, I love notebooks, I love journals, I love making lists, and I feel like I can never find one that has all the different things in it that I like to use. So I was thinking about it like, gosh, at least over a year ago. And I was like, oh, I should just make my own. So that has just been something that's on my to-do list, at least for the last couple years, that it's another thing like the yoga flows where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna focus on it now, and then something else comes up. So I hope to do that at some point in the near future and get that out for you guys, because I feel like if you're anything like me, you're always on the hunt for the perfect notebook / journal. And I think I have an idea for how I can create that for us. All right, my loves, that is it for today. I love you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night whenever you're watching this, and I will see you tomorrow for day 12.